See, y'all want to make Chelsea the villain so bad, but I'm here to tell y'all that the real villain of the show is and has always been that little bald-headed ass midget named Jason. Let me ask y'all a question. Outside of Bree being questioned about Nick Cannon, what was her storyline? I'll wait. Oh, okay. And before you ask me what Chelsea's storyline was, she had about 5 storylines, okay? And I'm gonna break them all down for you. During Black Women's I'm Not One of Your Little Friends, during Black Women's I'm really about to give you something to cry about in a minute, Black Mama Month. But it's the ghost of Nick Cannon being the main character for me. Not y'all made Nick Cannon's ghost the main character. What the fuck? Anyway, y'all, it's Jessie Woo. Welcome back to my channel. It's your sister. Listen, y'all know how I'm coming about these girls. Before I get into it, again, if you have not streamed my song, KOUPÉ, nous pas serrer coller, you ain't got no l'argent posé, si poche vide démasqué. Okay, if you have not streamed it yet, please do, please do. And also, we have a preview to my music video. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to bring the video to you guys. So yeah, make sure that you're streaming KOUPÉ. Make sure that you stay tuned to see the video for it. Also, make sure that you're following me on Instagram and Facebook, thejessiewoo. I don't have a Twitter. And of course, follow me here. Make sure that you're liking, sharing, subscribing my channel. So many of you guys are new here. I'm getting so many new followers each and every day. And I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that you guys are watching my reviews. You guys are obviously like having a good time watching these reviews, and I have a great time bringing them to y'all. Y'all know I like to talk my shit. So on that note, let's go ahead and dig into Selling Sunset, okay? You know, I'll never forget DJ Envy and his crusty ass beige fingers getting online and calling the girls of Selling Tampa embarrassing for not selling any homes. I really want to know if he's had the same energy for the Selling Sunset women. Because these white women are selling everything but homes, okay? They selling y'all lies. They selling y'all boredom. They are selling y'all arguments. They are selling y'all titty shots, okay? During a house opening. They selling everything but homes on this motherfucking show. I want to know if the Beige Ranger went up to the Breakfast Club and had the same energy for these white women. Of course he didn't. Of course not. Of course not. Okay, y'all. So with Selling Sunset, there were about 11 episodes in the season. And to be quite honest, it's a lot of shit that I don't care to talk about. So I'm not going to do an episodic review. I would rather do a review based on the cast and the characters and what is happening in their lives or during the season. Now, I'm going to start off by telling y'all this. Again, these people ain't selling no homes. And we're going to get into that. They're not selling any homes, all right? And so I'm going to have a lot of smoke for these bitches, because when the Black women had their show, they were hung on the cross. They were crucified for not selling homes. These women get on this show and repeatedly do not sell homes. All they sell is cute outfits and a whole lot of smoke and mirrors. But homes, they are not selling. And if you don't believe me, if you have a license for MLS, or if you know someone who does have an MLS license, have them look these bitches up. They're not selling shit, okay? The only thing they selling is cute outfits and a whole lot of unprofessionalism, all right? Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first cast member I want to talk about is Christine Quinn. The girl is not in this season, but off top, Heather is talking about her ass, Chriselle is talking about her ass, and she gets mentioned several times throughout the season. And I'm just wondering why this lady and her pink vagina cannot stay off of y'all mouths. She's gone. She's the fuck gone. Why are y'all still talking about this girl? You know why? Because y'all don't really have storylines outside of Christine. We're gonna be honest. Oh, we're gonna have real conversations. Y'all ain't got no storylines outside of Christine. And to be honest, as much as Christine was made out to be a villain, to me, she was very likable. Yes, she did a lot of fucked up shit. She said a lot of fucked up shit. But what I liked about her is that she stood in it. She owned it. She was a fucked up ass bitch. And you knew she was a fucked up ass bitch. She wasn't trying to be fake with none of y'all. She called things how she saw it and how it was. There are a lot of things that she complained about over the years that now we see Chelsea bringing up, we see Nicole bringing up, we see Mary crying over. Like, Christine was, and forever will be that girl of Selling Sunset, whether she's there or not. And the fact that you bitches cannot keep her name out of your mouths proves that time and time again. And on top of that, I don't know how true this is, but apparently the mansion, the $200 million mansion that Beyonce and Jay-Z just purchased in Malibu was co-facilitated by Christine. So kudos to you. This bitch is selling homes. I don't know what y'all doing, but Christine Quinn is selling homes. Again, I don't know what y'all doing. Because according to this season, y'all ain't selling shit but unprofessionalism, crackhead accusations, and cute outfits, okay? Christine is selling homes. What the fuck are y'all hoes doing? All right, let's move on. Davina. Oh my God. I'm so glad that we did not see much of Davina this year. I think she just had one line. I think before Bree entered the old group office, I think Christine said something like, oh, I heard she's nice. That was it. We didn't hear nothing else from Davina, and I have no complaints. We didn't hear nothing else from Davina, and I have no complaints. Because I was tired of seeing her ass trying to sell that damn mansion that she been trying to sell since Moses parted the Red Sea. All right? I was tired. My wig was tired. I was done. And I didn't want to hear about that shit no more. So kudos to production for kindly removing her from the cast. Now, we saw her from time to time. She makes a great extra. She makes a fantastic extra. But do not bring her ass back. She don't need to come back next season. Okay? Armanza. Now, what the fuck is Armanza doing here? Like, I don't understand what her purpose is on the show. I really just don't. Now, apparently she don't sell homes. Apparently she stages homes. I ain't seen her hit the stage yet. Like, I ain't seen Armanza in a stage yet. What the fuck is going on? Like, am I the only one just inquiring about what the fuck is she doing here? She brings nothing to the show. Nothing to the show. And what makes it crazy is this season, we're seeing more of Jason's personal penthouse being built. We see Mary in on the action. We saw a whole staging company come in, bring the furniture. Shouldn't that be Armanza's job? I'm telling y'all, these bitches don't really have, like, these bitches ain't selling no homes. They ain't staging homes. They ain't doing shit but playing in my face. Let me tell you something. You could play on the playground. You could play a PlayStation. But bitch, don't play in my face. What are you doing on the show? What are you doing on the show during Black Mama Month? Don't make me upset. I'm about to really give you something to cry about in a moment. Now, it was touching to watch her talk about, you know, her health woes. I can appreciate that as a woman. You know, I recently shared with y'all how I had to have several procedures to have cancerous cells removed from my damn cervix. So I can relate to that, and I think a lot of women watching the show can relate to that as well. However, Armanza, she can go. You don't bring nothing. I thought it was very weird, Armanza trying to fit into the same box that Bree fits in as far as being a single mother. Armanza, you got married. You didn't chose the single mother life. The single mother life chose you. Bree is baby mama number 6 or 7. She chose that life. She willingly chose that. So to see you try to fit a triangle into a circle was very off-putting, and it just gave off, I ain't got shit else to do on this show. Let me try my best to fit in somewhere somehow. I need you to find something to do. If you coming back for season 7, find your ass. Find your ass. Find something to do. Find something to do. Find something to do. Find something to do. This is not working, okay? Let's move on. Okay, now we have Emma. Emma's cute and all, but Emma ain't selling shit but empanadas. Like, Emma ain't selling shit but empanadas and like good vibes. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, she don't really bring much to the show either. Like, I don't know. I think her, Armanza, Davina, like those type of characters, they're just filler characters. Like, y'all not really bringing shit, okay? I think, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, with Emma, I can actually put more on Emma's table. You know what, I think I've talked about characters that I just kind of really don't give a fuck about. So you know what, I'm gonna kind of go episodic now. So, okay, so I lied. I talked about some of the characters. Now, let me go ahead and go episodic, because when I look at my notes, I did take episodic notes. So you know what? Let me go that route. So before I go into the other cast members of Selling Sunset, right, I want to revisit a point that I made earlier. The main problem with this show, or with the issues, the underlying issues that a lot of these women have, is Jason. Jason's unprofessionalism. The fact that Jason is fucking half of y'all, or has fucked half of y'all. The fact that when Jason is interested in some of y'all, that you guys get certain listings and you get help with selling homes that the other brokers don't get. That is the literal underlying problem with this office. And Christine said it for years. Now we have Chelsea. Chelsea kind of mentioned it last year, but this year she's really bringing it up. And then we have Nicole, who's a newcomer, but she's been at the old group for years. She's bringing it up as well, right? So that leads me to Chriselle. First and foremost, Chriselle, I don't believe in this relationship that you have with this young lady from Australia at all. I don't believe it. Baby, play in a playground. You could play a PlayStation. You could play an Xbox. But what you cannot do is play in my motherfucking face during Black Mama Month, okay? I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. And to be honest, now that I'm watching you with this girl, I'm really believing Christine and some of the other whispers that you'll really do anything to have a storyline. You will. I didn't believe the relationship with you and Jason, although y'all swore up and down it was real. So I gotta, since it was both of y'all saying it, okay, I kind of have to accept that. But this right here shows me, yeah, girl, you be grasping at straws, because what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And before y'all come in my comments saying, oh, you know, this is the, listen, I don't give a fuck. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, not buying it, not buying it, not buying it, not buying it at all. It just doesn't give. The scenes with you and her don't come off natural. Y'all ain't got nothing to talk about. Y'all ain't discussing nothing. Like, you're in your 40s, this girl's in her 20s, right? And I want to bring that up because Chriselle keeps bringing up the fact that, you know, Jason now is with this I think the girl's 25 and Jason's 45, right? Oh, he's dating somebody much younger. Yeah, you're doing the same thing. The way you talk about it, you're kind of making it look like it's a nasty thing, like there's something off-putting about it, which there is something off-putting about Jason, just period. But bitch, you doing the same thing. And the thing is, yours is worse because it's clear that you're not really into this girl like that. So don't be wasting that girl's time. Like, I feel sorry for her because I really think that you're using her for a storyline. Don't be playing in people's face like that. Sexualities and all that, it's a real thing. It is a real thing. And I'm sorry, it's just not coming off genuine to me. To me, it's just not coming off genuine to me. And then to watch you kind of try to throw dirt on Jason, it's like, well, Jason being attracted to younger women and Jason gallivanting all over town, it was all good when you were with him last season. It was all good when you wanted him to be your baby daddy. It was all good then, right? And here's the thing. I'm going to echo something that I saw Christine say in an interview recently. I'm going to try to see if I could bring up the footage, but I don't know if it was a recent interview or if it was an interview after she finished last season. She said, if we were to go up on MLS right now, we would see that you're not selling homes. She wasn't lying because we didn't see you sell not one home this season. And is it me or is it a coincidence that the one season where we don't see you selling any homes is the one season where you are not sucking Jason's dick? Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Tell me, is it a coincidence? I think not. This is the season that we're seeing that you're not up under Jason. You're not up under Jason, and coincidentally, we see you not selling one home. You didn't sell not one home. You hardly talked about selling homes this season. Now, I will say this. Now let's bring in Nicole, because Nicole is a newcomer, but she's been at the old group, right? So Nicole, we see Nicole and Chriselle have this beef between them that brews. And to make a long story short, Nicole is still upset about a listing that her and Chriselle had years ago, right? So much so that when we see Chelsea talking to Nicole and Heather about a property that she has out in Manhattan Beach, which is where she specializes. None of the other agents specialize in that area. And she was saying, you know, to get the property sold faster, I'm thinking about, you know, doing a co-listing. And Nicole was like, don't do no co-listings. You don't want somebody getting the credit for the work that you put in. And, you know, Chelsea's like, yeah, I could get it. But I understand that. But also, I do feel like it's going to bring me more business. So I don't mind. I just want to get this property off the market, right? And so she's still holding on to this. Now, a lot of y'all will say, damn, like just like Chriselle, oh, it was 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago. Yeah, it's easy to say that, right? But when you really listen to what she's saying and what Chriselle is saying, they're both saying the same thing. It was a property that Jason and Nicole were working on. And at the time, Jason seemingly had a crush on Chriselle. We're not going to sit here and act like that time frame doesn't make sense. Because remember, Chriselle was like, well, back then, I was divorced. I was still in a marriage and all that. But at the same time, your marriage was crumbling. Your marriage was crumbling. We've been watching you. This is the 5th season. It's been at least 5 years. We've been watching you on the show. Your marriage was crumbling. Yeah, you were in a marriage, but that man wasn't seeing it for you. And you found a lot of solace at the old group and in Jason. Jason helped you really get your business. He fed you listings. This is something that Christine would say. This is something that the other agents would say. So Nicole is not saying anything wrong when she says that. Now her tone, and she might come off like she's coming in hot about it. But think about it, y'all. Anybody who works in real estate, you know, like your listing is really all you have. Your listing really is all you have. And depending on the listing, the commission can go up and down. So imagine that you are fresh out of a relationship with your boss, and now he has the hots for your coworker. So now every time that you have a listing, he's trying to shoo her onto you. And then now she gets to take the commission with her. Now, remember when they were going back and forth, and Chriselle, you know, this was at the when they was down to the was this Chelsea showing or whatever, and Chriselle was calling Nicole all types of bitches, right? Chriselle admitted, well, who cashed the check? I didn't cash the check. Okay, so Jason cashed the check, right? But it doesn't mean that he couldn't have cashed a check and wrote you a check. What I love about these shows too is because it will look like somebody's getting ate up, but if you really think about it, the person who's over talking the other person, they're over talking the other person so the other person can't get their point across. And so that other person, they're not as hot as the person who's over talking them, so they can't get all their points out. But literally, like, when she was calling her a bitch, you are a bitch, you a bitch, yeah, you a bitch, you motherfucking bitch. I mean, she called her all types of bitches. She called her a wet bitch, a dry bitch, a cold bitch, a hot bitch, an ugly bitch. I mean, she called her everything but a child of God, right? But she still didn't debunk, in my eyes, what Nicole was saying, which was, at the end of the day, you were placed on a listing that you didn't do the work for. And then here's the thing, right? So then you have Chriselle saying, oh, well, since then, I've given you listing, I've pushed you listings. Well, I mean, you should, bitch. You owe her. You kind of owe her by now. Because when you came in, Jason was pushing you onto her. So you pushing listings that you have to her, that's a courtesy, my nigga. Like, you're not doing her no fucking favors. And at the root of this, the problem is Jason. Like, all y'all be arguing with each other, and I get it. But the problem here is that bald-headed ass midget that y'all have that is your boss. Where the fuck is HR? That's another problem. Y'all ain't got no human resources. Where are the resources of humans? Where are the resources of humans? Somebody needs to be able to intervene here because these practices are very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. And every time I watch this again, I'm reminded how the black girls on Selling Tampa didn't even bring a fraction of this unprofessionalism to my TV screen, yet they didn't get another season. Y'all get to do this shit every fucking season. And nobody bats an eye. Literally. So like I said a couple minutes ago, Chriselle now, she fake gay now, or she fake as fuck. That relationship fake. I have nothing else to say. All right. Okay, so now we get to, let's talk about the scene where Bree comes in, right? So right before Bree comes in, you know, there's talk about her. The other ladies bring up that they heard that she's Nick Cannon's baby mama. Mind you, like they're saying this, and Chelsea's like, oh, okay, cool. And I think Davina was like, oh yeah, I heard she's a nice girl, whatever. So she comes in, cool. She looks great. This is after she has lunch with Heather. Heather meets her, and then Heather ushers her into the O group, right? So she goes into the O group, and everybody's just questioning her about her experience or whatever. And Chelsea says something to the likeness of, you know, how long have you had, you know, your license? You know what's crazy too? Before I go into what Chelsea was asking her, it's clear that nobody asked her any of these questions that Chelsea's asking her, because the fact that everybody was acting so weird that Chelsea was asking these questions, I think that these are real questions to ask. Like, y'all have been in an office setting before and somebody new comes in and you ask them, oh, what's your experience? How long have you been working in this industry? Whatever. Like, you're not trying to check the person. You're not trying to read the person. You're just making conversation. Y'all both are about to start working together. You don't know what you and this person might end up doing together. So I thought it was just funny how, like, Armanzo was like, oh, damn, Chelsea, you should have asked, you should have interviewed her. Yeah, because clearly Jason didn't interview her. Clearly Mary didn't interview her. It's very clear that she was brought into the O group and on the show because of Nick Cannon. But we're going to get to that later on. So you have Chelsea asking her, hey, you know, so how long have you been in the industry? And Bree says, well, I got my license in 2017, but I started using it in 2021. I want y'all to think about this. Think about this, okay? She got her license in 2017, didn't start using it until 2021. Selling Sunset was filmed 2022 going into the top of this year. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? I'm gonna let y'all do the math. I'm gonna give y'all more math. So, and I wanna preface my reviews when it comes to Bree with this, because she might come across this video and I just wanna make things very, very clear where I stand. This is purely me reviewing the show. I don't have anything against this girl. I'm reviewing the show. Bree and I used to be Wild 'N Out girls together back in 2016 when I was a Wild 'N Out girl for one season before I was told I couldn't be a Wild 'N Out girl anymore because I didn't look exotic. If you want that story, you could always Google Jessie Woo, Nick Cannon, and colorism, and you'll see what I talked about with that. And how I ended up being a cast member was because I did call out the show for colorism. But anyway, so we were both Wild 'N Out girls season 8. Now, again, I didn't come back to Wild 'N Out until 2021. And I remember coming back as a cast member 2021, Bree was still a Wild 'N Out girl. Now, I will say this. Bree was, I feel like season 8 was her first season as a Wild 'N Out girl, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was her first season. Now, not too long after that, she married Johnny Manziel. And here's the thing with Wild 'N Out girls, I don't know how it works now, but back in the day, as a Wild 'N Out girl, it was not just exposure for, like, you know, being a wild out girl or becoming like an Instagram baddie or whatever. It puts you in rooms with niggas, okay? It puts you in rooms with a lot of celebrities. We're talking about you're on a show with Nick Cannon, first of all, and you have a lot of big name celebrities that come in, and a lot of those wild out girls, they were those celebrities' preferences. Girls like Brie, this is what a lot of these men looked for, okay? And so it was easy for girls like her to be in rooms with a lot of these millionaires, billionaires, and so when you see her talking about that, it comes from her being in that world. I believe she even touched on being a model as well. You know, she comes from that world where she came across a lot of those famous people, okay? So if you're smart, like she seemingly is, you should definitely build relationships with those people, and especially like you being like their preference as far as like the looks and everything. If you're smart, you should definitely like usher that into some other shit that you can actually monetize, right? So anywho, so she was married with Johnny Manziel for a moment. Johnny Manziel, if you don't know who that is, he was a quarterback in the NFL. He's probably one of the dumbest quarterbacks to ever get into the NFL. The way he fucking flopped and fucked up his own career was insane. And I'll let you guys do the research on that. But you know, I ain't no Stephen A. Smith, but I'll just say he couldn't stay off the weed. I don't know if it was weed or alcoholism, but he couldn't stay off something. He was just really stupid. But anywho, so I guess some time after that, she came back to Wildin' Out. And I will say, when I became a cast member in 2021, that first season when I came back, the person who had told me that I couldn't be a Wildin' Out girl because I wasn't exotic was being very mean to me behind the scenes. And Brie checked her on my behalf. So I will say this, and I remember thinking like, Brie was like, she said what? She did this? Oh, because she had this, like she was going down the list of shit that the girl did to her. And she's like, no, I'm going to Nick. And I remember us all saying, well, damn, like how is she getting these direct, how does she have a direct line to Nick like this? Like it was just crazy, but at the same time, I was really happy about it because she stood up for me. And then literally like a couple months after we wrapped up that season, we filmed that like in May 2021. A couple months after that, she announced her pregnancy. She was pregnant from Nick Cannon. So then I remember the group chat, and that's why she was able to check old girl, because you know she was with Nick. So I will say my experience with Brie as a person was nothing but positive. She was very, very cool, very nice. So I just want to preface it with that, with saying that my experience with her was very nice. I want to, again, preface it with that because I think sometimes when I'm reviewing these shows and sometimes like clips will get out and, you know, maybe a blog will pick it up and make it seem like I have beef with a person. I am strictly reviewing the show. And let's get back to the tea. Now I gave you that little background. Again, she was pregnant for Nick Cannon in 2021. That's when she picked up her license. 2022 is when they filmed Selling Sunset. What does that tell y'all? Okay? Now, she said that her first year, which was 2021, remember, Chelsea was like, oh, okay, so you just got your license not too long ago. All right, she's like, you know, don't feel a certain way if you don't knock it out of the park, you know, your first year, like it's all good. And Brie was like, well, how much did you make your first year? And Chelsea was like, oh, I made 9.9 million. And then Brie was like, oh, well, I made 20 million. Again. Brie, you're a nice girl, but I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap on that. Now, I know a lot of y'all felt like she gagged Chelsea. No, ma'am. Y'all have to be able to do the math. 20 million and what? Was it pure sales? It wasn't commission. Like, Chelsea's better than me because I would have had more questions because, again, just giving your background, what group were you at? You weren't at a group. Where were you working at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did these $20 million in sales come from? And mind you, we're talking about LA right now. And if you know anything about LA property right now, it is very hard to sell and buy homes, okay? So again, I have a lot of questions with that. I do felt like that was like I'm gonna one up you. Anyway, listen, I don't have a dog in that fight, but I'm just saying as a viewer, I call cap on that. Okay, so episode 2, here are the scenes that I want to talk about. So first scene I want to talk about is a scene, I kind of mentioned it earlier, where Chelsea has this listing in Manhattan Beach, right? And again, this is her specialty. She's there, she invites Mary, Mary brings Nicole. She didn't ask Mary to bring Nicole, but Mary brings Nicole. And so, you know, they're quizzing her on the property and they're kind of like talking to her as if she doesn't know what she's talking about, right? But clearly she does. It's her specialty. And then, you know, she talks about the fact that she wants to co-list a $20 million property. We see Nicole again tell her, hey, you know, co-listing, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't want to share, you know, I wouldn't want to share the commission with anybody else on work that I did before. And again, I wouldn't want to share the commission with somebody else, especially if I'm the one who did all the work. And Chelsea's like, you know, I understand that, but also, again, I'm about my money. I'm about increasing my territory, so I don't mind having this as a co-list. We get a brief look on Mary having a $35 million closing. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, whatever closings that Mary has, to me, don't count. Because here's the thing. Mary is literally like in bed with Jason. Mary and Jason are this. So whatever she closes on, I don't give a fuck. I don't think it counts. Point blank period. It's very, very clear that you're in bed with Jason. So that's that on that. Now we get to see Bree, you know, put her $1 billion clientele to the test. Remember, when she was talking about, you know, the $20 million that she made her first year, she also mentioned to the ladies that, you know, I think Chelsea was like, well, who are your clients? Well, who are your clients? Like, who do you look to sell to? And she was like, you know, I know a lot of millionaires and billionaires. I keep them on the hush hush. I don't share who I know. I don't talk about my clients. I keep my clients very private. And I remember when she said that, I was thinking, I kind of get both sides. I kind of get why you would keep them private because, you know, maybe you don't want other people in the office knowing, you know, who you're selling to. But at the same time, I feel like that's stupid because you would want them to know who you're selling to so that they don't step on your feet. So it was a part of me that was like, that doesn't make sense, but I get the gist of what she's saying. So now we see her at this listing with her $1 billion client, right? And you know, she was talking about how her clients are billionaires and millionaires and they don't have a budget and she could get them to buy whatever she wants them to buy, right? But we see her at this first listing and he tells her, you know, I got a call from another agent in your office, you know, about seeing other homes, right? And it's brought up that Bree doesn't have any exclusivity agreements with her clients. See, now I'm really calling cap on your realtor experience because that's like one of the first things a good realtor does with you is here's this agreement because here's the thing, I'm helping you look for homes. I'm not about to be doing all this work and then this realtor over here shows you something else and you go and buy it and then they take my commission. And what her reasoning was, well, oh, my clients trust me. They know that they trust me to get the job done. So I don't ever have an exclusivity agreement with them. Girl, I'm calling cap. I'm calling Kaepernick on that one, okay? Baby, you could play on a playground. You could play a PlayStation, but you cannot play in my face, okay? What kind of realtor does not give an exclusivity agreement, especially to billionaires? Are you crazy? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I'm calling cap. I'm calling Kaepernick on that. Side note, I forgot to mention that there was a broker's opening. I believe it was Mary's, right? Did you guys see how Chriselle was drinking alcohol from Emma's titties at the broker's opening? Like literally, there are potential clients walking around this home that you guys are showing. And these girls were drinking from each other's titties at the fucking event. Now, again, Had this been on Selling Tampa, it would have been all types of breakdowns and theses on how black women this, black women that, we so ghetto, we get on TV, we embarrass black women as a whole. What y'all got to say about these white women's down to this professional event drinking alcohol from each other's titties? And I never saw anybody bring that up in any of the meetings either. What's up with that? What's up with that? Again, y'all not selling no homes. Y'all wasn't there to sell a home. Y'all was there to sell titties and tequila. Okay? They are selling titties and tequila down to Selling Sunset. They not selling no motherfucking homes. Y'all can't be serious. You can't be serious. And then speaking of unprofessionalism, you have the staff meeting, right? And at the staff meeting, you have Jason, I think he was asking, what everybody's working on. And everybody's talking about what they're working on. And here goes Bree. Oh, by the way, I just want to bring up the fact that you brought 2 girls that I'm not really that cool with like that. I thought this was a professional event at the opening. Why would you bring 2 girls from my past to the opening? Well, what type of professional event is it where you got bitches sucking tequila from titties? Like, where's the professionalism? And I'm sorry, bringing that up at the staff meeting was very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. A lot of y'all feel like Chelsea drew first blood. To be honest, I felt like that moment, that's when the first blood was really drawn, because at the end of the day, first of all, Chelsea don't owe you nothing. Chelsea don't owe you a damn thing. This is LA. This is LA. Chelsea can bring whoever the fuck she wants. Chelsea's new to LA. And like Chelsea said, the girl said that she knew you, that y'all used to model together. The girl didn't say anything negative about you. So what was wrong with her bringing her to the event? If anything, if I'm Chelsea, I'm thinking, okay, this girl's new. I know some people that know her. Maybe that will help me get in good with her. I'm not thinking that I'm bringing these girls and you gonna be mad at me. Girl, we work together. I'm not trying to be hostile to you at work. And here you are at the staff meeting coming for me. That was very unprofessional. And the fact that Jason or Mary didn't call it out again. Jason is the villain. Jason is the villain. Jason is the villain. You didn't shut her down in the staff meeting. And you didn't shut down when these white women were sucking tequila from titties down to the damn opening. Be for fucking real. Be for fucking for real. So later on, Chelsea and Emma are out and they're talking. And Chelsea brings up the fact that, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm feeling some type of way because how did Bree get this job? Bree didn't have to sell a home the way I did. I had to prove that I could sell a home to get this, to get this job. And I really want to talk about this for a moment because I see that a lot of y'all, and to my surprise, but not really, a lot of y'all black women are being very obtuse with Chelsea's beef with Bree and Chelsea's beef with the old group in general. The fact that this girl did not have to sell a home to get this job alone is enough to drive Chelsea mad, and I stand with her 100% on that. And the fact that black women are watching this and not standing with her on that tells me that y'all are willingly obtuse. Willingly obtuse. Willingly ignorant. Willingly stupid. The fact that y'all ignore this, something that all of us have been through. If my memory serves me correctly, right? Chelsea had to sell a home for Jason to offer her a spot at the old group. Remember, he was like, I just hired 2 people, right? And he said something to her like, I don't really do listings in Manhattan Beach. So if you could bring me some listings, if you could bring me some properties, if you could sell a couple homes, if you could show me that you could sell homes in a slow market, you're hired. And he didn't really start giving her props until she sold, I believe it was like $4 million in a slow market. That's when he was like, oh, you know what? I knew you were a good hire. Literally. Chriselle, when she got hired, it was little to no experience. Armanza, same thing, little to no experience. So when you see someone like Chelsea, having her feathers ruffled over the fact that this girl hasn't proved that she can sell a home, didn't prove any listings, didn't prove any of her clientele or anything to be part of the old group, her feathers are ruffled, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. And the fact that y'all are watching this, especially you guys that are black, y'all that are people of color, y'all are watching this and y'all, what's her problem? She has the same problem that all of us have. She has the same problem that all of us have had at least once in our lifetimes. I'll never forget, I was working at a firm called Atrium. I remember walking into Atrium. Atrium was a job placement firm. And I went there to get a job somewhere else, but they were like, oh my God, we love your personality. You have all this education. We need someone temporarily to work our front desk, but also work with HR as well. And you have HR experience, you know, after 90 days, you know, we will move you up in the company, take you off of the front desk, and maybe if you want to go into corporate recruiting, like we have a lot of opportunities for you. I was like, all right, cool. I ain't had no job. I'm in New York. Like I need a job, and I was fresh out of getting my master's degree. And I'll never forget, you know, working at the front desk and also working closely with HR, making sure that people filled out their I-9s, their, you know, all their governmental paperwork to get hired. I would literally see not only the people that they hired for other places, but the people that they hired to be recruiters. It would be white girls fresh off of the Starbucks cashier. And here, my black ass, with a whole master's degree, I had to prove my worth. But these girls was coming in from H&M, Starbucks, you know, like they were coming in from all types of jobs where they didn't even have any experience. But they were coming in to these high paying positions, and they were all white. They were all white or white adjacent, okay? And my niggery ass had to sit there and watch that happen over and over and over and over again. How many black women's brunches have we been to where black women are talking about how they don't get the pay that their white counterparts get? You have Viola Davis, who's spoken out about how she gets called the Hollywood Black Meryl Streep, but she doesn't get the Meryl Streep check. So why the fuck are y'all watching this and y'all are watching Chelsea Strife and y'all are acting obtuse to that? What is not clicking? Turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it on. On. It's off right now. Turn it on. Why are y'all being so obtuse? I would have a problem with that too. And then let's not act as if she wasn't brought into the O group and on the show because production wasn't looking for a Nick Cannon storyline. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Okay? Why y'all being so purposely ignorant to this? I really want to know that. I need to know that. I need to know why y'all are being so damn stupid. Back to the lunch that Chelsea's having with Emma. Emma said, yeah, like the way Brie came at you during the staff meeting was very aggressive. And it was, but of course, you know, nobody's gonna have that energy for her. Why? I'll tell you why. Boy, I tell you, I'm so sick and tired of this shit. So let's go on to episode 3. We see Emma and Brie are having a conversation, and Emma is asking Brie about her relationship status. She's like, you know, are you single? Are y'all dating? And Brie says, oh, I'm in a relationship, but I'm in an open relationship. Chelsea is asking her, you know, is it polyamorous? And Brie is like, I wouldn't necessarily call it that. Mind you, this is all like at the office, right? Like all the girls are questioning Brie. And it's so funny again because it's okay when all the other girls are questioning her, because literally at the top of episode 3, she's in the center of all these women asking her a bunch of questions about her relationship and why she's baby mama number 53 to Nick Cannon, but it's a problem when Chelsea does it, right? But when they all do it, it's all right. So they're asking her, you know, so what's your relationship status? Brie is trying to convince these girls that she's in an open relationship, that Nick is actually her man. Girl. Brie says that, you know, So they're like, you know, how are you in a relationship with this man? He has all these baby mamas, all these kids. And Bree's like, well, you know, he films for 3 weeks, then he comes back home, and you know, I get to wake up and I get to go to sleep and go and wake up to him. And Chelsea's like, how are you going to sleep and waking up with this man when he has all these kids all over the state? Traffic alone doesn't make that possible. It doesn't make any sense. And Nicole is like, yeah, logistically speaking, how does he spread himself amongst y'all? Because he has, what, 9 kids, right? And Bree's like, well, he's got 11, but I mean, he might have more than that. Stay tuned. And it's like, girl, baby, I'm sorry. The way Bree was trying to convince everybody that this is a stable situation, honestly, sis, come on now. Come on. And here's the thing, right? Bree's biggest enemy in all of this is not even these girls that are questioning her. It's not even the online commentary. Her biggest enemy is Nick Cannon. Because Nick Cannon does not miss an opportunity to let us know that he is not being efficient with being with all of you guys equally. I mean, the man just the other day was talking about the fact that he was giving the wrong baby mamas the wrong Happy Mother's Day card, okay? Like, Chelsea not your enemy. The other girls talking about, they're not your enemy. The online commentary, they're not your enemy. Your biggest enemy is Nick. And the fact that he won't shut the fuck up. Your biggest enemy is Nick. And the fact that he's trying to remultiply the earth, and that's the biggest joke on Wildin' Out for the last, like, what, 5 seasons. So your story and Nick's story don't meet. Okay? Them continents don't meet. You trying to convince them that you are in a relationship, and Nick Cannon literally telling the world that he don't even be knowing which one of y'all deserves what Happy Mother's Day card. Them continents don't meet. Them continents don't meet. Nick Cannon saying, oh, well, you know what? I spend time with whoever reaches out to me that day. Them continents don't meet. Okay? Them continents don't meet. All right? All this is public information. And it's been for a while. Okay? You could play in a playground. You could play a PlayStation. But you can't play in my face. Okay? The continents are not meeting. Next, we see Bree with her realtor chops again. She has another billionaire that she's showing a home to. And did y'all notice how her language, it just was, oh, and you know, there's this big kitchen here, and oh, the paint, I love the color of the paint is this, and you know, it's a big bathroom, you have a primary. Like, the language was, it wasn't giving realtor language. It was giving, oh, and Lenny Kravitz and Bono, you know, are your neighbors. This is Billionaire Row. Where is the realtor language? How many square footages are this? What are the advantages of him living in this area other than Bono being a neighbor? Cap. Y'all can buy this if y'all want, baby. But when I try to buy this, my card declined. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, okay? I actually believe this was the billionaire that she was talking about, that said Emma. He said specifically Emma reached out to him, right? And I'm like, well, goddamn. And here goes Bree. Oh, Emma reached out to you for what? He's like, yeah, to show me a couple homes. And again, where is your exclusivity agreement? How is it that you are showing this man multiple homes and you don't have an agreement with this man? The continents are not meeting, Bree. The continents, they are not meeting, okay? Cap. So now we're at Chelsea's Manhattan Beach showing, and I kind of touched on this earlier, but you have Nicole and Chriselle outside. Chriselle is eating Nicole's ass up, but again, like I said, I stand with Nicole on this, that the beef here at the bottom line, the problem is the fact that you were given a listing that she did the work for, and it was because of Jason. Whether Jason liked you or not. You know, Chriselle brought a point, oh, I was married. I don't give a fuck if you were married. That man could still have a crush on you. And it didn't take long after you were divorced for y'all to be together. Let's cut the shit, okay? Let's cut the shit, all right? So there's truth there. Let's talk truth. Let's talk truth. There's truth there, okay? There's truth there. Let's the truth, the continents meet, okay? What Nicole is saying and given Jason's history, them continents are meeting for me. They're meeting, okay? But she was calling her all types of bitches, child, and then she ran off, called her another bitch, and then she just slammed the door in the bitch's face. It was just a lot, my God. And then you have Bree and Emma. So Bree confronts Emma and tells her, yo, like, my client told me that you reached out to him to show him a couple homes. And Emma's like, who, Adam? And she's like, yeah, Adam. She's like, me and Adam have known each other for years. Like, I wasn't calling him to show him no home. I was calling him because I had a fresh batch of empanadas. You know, I have a vegan empanadas business. I wanted him to get a fresh batch of empanadas. Let me tell you something. Emma is selling empanadas. She ain't selling no homes. It's very clear. If you watch the show closely, the lady ain't selling no homes, okay? So I believe her 100%. And then come to find out, Bree had really just jumped the gun, because when you go back and you watch the scene, I don't really recall that man really saying she wanted to specifically show me homes. He said he was reached out to by her. So Emma's story checks out, and then later on in the show, we kind of see that Emma's story does check out, and Bree was very hostile with her even then, like, well, you know, he's my client, he's this, he's that, and my client said this, my client said, if I was Emma, listen, Emma's better than me. I would have told her, excuse me, do you have an exclusivity agreement with your client? And the moment Bree would have said no, I would have been sending off an email to sell that motherfucker home. Because clearly, Bree's not here to sell no homes either. Emma's selling empanadas. Bree is selling us a damn lie. Neither of y'all are here to sell no homes. Okay? What the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about here? Okay? Emma's out here selling pastelitos and empanadas. First of all, why is a white woman selling empanadas? Can we... Emma, you are white. Why are you selling empanadas? This is California. Where are the Mexicans? How do the Mexicans feel about this shit? Is she like, she is appropriating empanadas. Who the fuck wants vegan empanadas? Let's be serious. Let's be fucking serious. Where are the Mexicans? What do the Mexicans have to say about this shit during Black Women's Black Mama Month? So back to the whole billionaire thing. In episode 4, we do see Emma and Bree meet up, and they talk about, you know, their whole misunderstanding. And Bree admits that, you know, maybe she did like overreact with the whole billionaire thing, because remember, like, when she confronted Emma, she's like, yeah, that's my client and you better watch it, like, you know, that's my billionaire. And Emma was like, baby, I was just trying to sell him some pastelitos and some empanadas, girl. I was just trying to sell him some tacos or whatnot. You know, Emma's getting her white Mexican on. She's selling vegan, I don't know what, again, please, I need the Mexicans to step in, because this just seems like cultural appropriation to my ass. But maybe I'm reading too much into that shit. But baby, she just wanted to sell that man some empanadas, all right? And so Bree admits that, okay, she just was overreacting because she did talk to him again. And he said, oh yeah, no, she was just trying to sell me some empanadas. She know I love me some empanadas. She know I'm trying to watch my weight, so she was trying to sell me some vegan empanadas. And apparently, Emma's vegan empanada business is doing very, very well. I call cap on that shit too, because again, who the fuck want vegan empanadas? What? That don't even make no damn sense. Anyway, so then towards the end of the episode, we find out that Emma, Chelsea, Chriselle, Bree, and some of the girls went out, and I guess like later on in the night, Bree goes online and she finds out that her man, who she's in a relationship with, is dropping another child like a mixtape, okay? She goes on Instagram and finds out that he has another baby coming out soon. Chelsea is in the office and she's just basically telling the girls like, yo, like, we went out last night, and like towards the end of the night, Bree is very upset. She showed us her phone, and on her phone, it was the black baby mama, the dark-skinned one, Lanisha, and it was being said that he's coming out with a baby with her, and this is how Bree found out that he has another baby coming. Now, here's the thing, right? Of course, this wasn't on camera. Apparently, it happened like right after cameras left. And so, you know, obviously somebody somewhere told production, maybe it was Chelsea, whoever it was. But anyway, she talks to the girls at the office about it. And to me, when Chelsea was talking to Heather, I think it was Heather and Mary that she was saying this to, Chelsea wasn't relishing in this. She wasn't happy about it. She was like, yo, this is fucked up, because like she's supposed to be in a relationship with this man, but this is how she finds out that he has another baby on the way, is through Instagram. That's a fucked up situation. And the girls agreed. Episode 6, Bree is showing a house to one of her millionaire friends. The house is worth $9 million. And guess what? Towards the end of the selling, her friend tells her, mind you, she's there. Her friend lets her show the entire house to her and her husband. And towards the end of the selling, her friend is like, well, you know, unbeknownst to me, my husband signed an exclusivity agreement with another realtor. So I don't know how much longer we have on that contract. But, you know, I just want to bring that up to you because I know you're showing us this home, and I don't want you to be under the impression that, you know, we're not working with another realtor. Again, I have to call cap on Bree's experience. I just have to call cap on that, because it's a few episodes now and you're still not learning your lesson about having your clients sign agreements so that they are exclusive to you. To me, that just seems like being a real estate agent 101. 101. Like all the seasons that I've watched this show, I have yet to see a realtor bring that issue up. And in any other show that I've watched, even Selling Tampa, any other show that I've watched where we're talking about realtors, I've never seen them say, oh, well, I don't give anybody no agreement. That is like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And that leads me to believe that you're not selling no homes. There's no way you're selling any homes. No way. No way. So episode 8, like about the 20-minute mark, we see Bree and Armanza go out for lunch, right? And, you know, Bree is telling Armanza, you know, she doesn't appreciate Chelsea, you know, being in the office and talking about her business, right? And she was like, you know, I feel like Chelsea's trying to kick me while I'm down, right? But then you have Armanza, who says the exact same things that Chelsea said with the exact same spirit. She's like, well, here's the thing. It's just like in the office, you know, you stated that you were aware of who the baby mamas are and how many baby mamas there are. So for him to have a baby on you like that, it just seems dishonest. It just seems like something is not adding up here, right? And then you have Bree say, well, there's a difference between lying and omitting because I don't give a fuck. Well, clearly you do give a fuck, because then you go on to say, I would have appreciated if he came to me and he told me first rather than me finding out on the internet. So girl, whether he's lying or omitting to you, girl, you look dumb, okay? This doesn't make any sense. The man is not in a relationship with you. We even have recently where Nick came forward and he said most of his baby mamas, there was a thing where he felt that, you know what, they all felt like their clock was ticking, so they all agreed to have babies together. So again, your biggest enemy, the person that's kicking you while you're down, is not Chelsea. It's not Armanza. It's not the online. It is Nick. Because number one, there's something off. Y'all are clearly not on the same page. And number two, he keeps opening his mouth. So then she goes forward, and I think Armanza said, you know, I read something, because I think with this baby mama, it would make baby number 11, right? So Armanza's like, oh, I read somewhere that, you know, once you have 10 kids, you're not required to pay child support, right? And Bree was like, yeah, that's correct. You're not required to do that once you surpass 10 kids. But, you know, Nick is not my sugar daddy. You know, I don't have an allowance from him. You know, I can support my own, you know, lifestyle. I don't got to ask him for nothing. But if I do ask him, he gives it. But he's not on child support. He's not required to pay child support. Now, first things first, right? Because there is this article that I came across today at Dish Nation, because we were kind of talking about Nick Cannon and everything. Bree's lawyer, or someone who says that they represent her, had to clear that up and say, no, there's no such thing as not being required to pay child support. It's right here. The article is right here. And it says, Bree Tiesi's lawyer is speaking out after the Selling Sunset newcomer claimed on the series that Nick Cannon, the father of her 10-month-old son, doesn't have to pay child support. In the 7th episode of the popular Netflix series, co-star Amanza Smith asked Tiesi if it's true that someone doesn't have to pay child support after having 10 children. Tiesi responded, "That's true," as the pair share cocktails. The way it works is like, after 10, the court can basically say he can't afford to pay child support, or because he is who he is, they could pay. Because he is who he is, they could say, we know you can't afford X amount of each household. But in a statement shared with People, Niyama Ramani, a lawyer who represents Tiesi, says that's not the case. Nick or any father is obligated to pay child support under California law, regardless of the number of children he has. So again, for those of y'all, like a lot of y'all are not paying attention. Listen to what she's saying. Listen to what Nick's saying. Listen to what this lawyer is saying. None of the continents meet. None of the continents meet. Them continents are not meeting. Okay? Them continents are not meeting. And, you know, to me, again, just watching this, it's okay when Armanza says something about it. Why is it not okay when Chelsea says it? It's okay when all the other girls are talking about it, because they have. All these girls have made a lot of comments about Nick and about her being Nick's 53rd baby mama. But for some reason, it's not okay when Chelsea says something. Just saying. So later on in the episode, we see all the girls go to Palm Springs. You know, a notable scene in this episode, Chrishell and Nicole are still going at it. They're going at it. You know, Nicole won't let go of the whole listing from 3 years ago. And to be honest, I don't know. I feel like it might be deeper than just that listing from 3 years ago. There might be something deeper than that, but I feel like with the show, you know, they want to give us a show. They want to entertain us. And so, you know, they'll omit a lot of different things. Something feels like it's deeper than that. But anyway, they're going back and forth at dinner. And Chrishell told that lady, well, at least I'm not a motherfucking crackhead. Yeah, I done seen you do crack. I've seen you do crack at parties. I've seen you do crack at the office. I've seen you do crack at Mary's reception. I've seen you do crack with Jason. I've seen you do crack on IG Live. Bitch, you a motherfucking crackhead. All you do is snort powder. You a crack motherfucking head. I know a crackhead when I see one. I was like, my goodness. My goodness. And the fact that nobody stepped in to say, okay, now she ain't no crackhead now. Let's be serious. Like, she not a crackhead. Even the fact that Chrishell was like, you was doing crack down to Mary's reception. And Mary did not refute that. Like, what is the problem? So Nicole goes off. She's crying. Mary leaves. She goes to console Nicole, you know, and then Mary comes back and she does tell Chrishell, well, damn, bitch, like that, you hit hard. And that's not true. She wasn't doing crack at my reception. And here go Chrishell. She was doing crack. She was doing crack down at your reception with your other bridesmaids. They was doing crack. You was doing crack. All y'all was doing crack. Everybody is a crackhead but me. Chrishell didn't give a fuck, okay? Chrishell was like, listen, I'm tired. I'm motherfucking tired. I'm gonna pull out the big guns and put my freakum dress on. Like, she was like, listen, y'all wanna go toe to toe? Crackhead. You are on crack. Period. Let me tell you something. I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. I'm sorry. Then here go Chrishell, where I think she was doing mushrooms. Mushrooms is not crack, okay? Don't be trying to backpedal that shit. Weed and mushrooms and alcohol, that is not crack, okay? My daddy was a crackhead, y'all. I know a crackhead when I see one. Crack and weed are not the same thing. Crack and mushrooms, them continents don't meet, okay? Chrishell, please, give me a break. Give me a fucking break. Chrishell was like, listen, you a motherfucking crackhead. And one thing about white people, let me tell you something. You want to hit hard, call them a crackhead. And the funny thing about it be, I mean, y'all do be on crack. Crack is a white people drug. Let's just be real, okay? I've been out with plenty of white people and they say all the time, crack, ecstasy, speed, all that shit. That's y'all shit. That's y'all shit. So, I mean, it was funny, but I mean, was she lying? I don't know. And like Chelsea was like, listen, now I ain't never seen a lady do crack, but now that she's been accused of doing crack, I can't unsee it. Now I can't unsee that lady not being a crackhead. I'm sorry. Chriselle, that was nasty. That was, oh my God. Like, I'm sorry. Baby, Chriselle had that lady going to go get tested that night for crack. I'm sorry. Like some of the girls said, I'm sorry. If somebody called me a crackhead, I'm not gonna go get tested. I'm not proving nothing to you, okay? But I do see what her point is. You know, she's a professional. You know, this is her professional. This is her profession. You know what I'm saying? So she's not trying to risk her profession. But girl, crack, them white people don't care that you do crack. Them white people just want you to sell their ass some homes. They don't give a fuck, okay? But white people do crack all the time. And clock in. Crack, clock in. Crack, clock in. That's their thing. That's their way of life, okay? You know, the next morning we have Nicole. She finished taking her crackhead test. The test came back negative for crack. So she's not a crackhead on this day. And you know, she tells Mary, she tells Chelsea that she is looking into not litigation, but she is contacting her lawyer about this because, you know, those accusations can be harmful. I mean, all jokes aside, crackhead allegations can be harmful. I don't know how harmful they are to white people in LA. But, you know, I can see how they can be harmful. Now, when she brings this up to the girls are like, yo, we don't want to be fucking involved. We don't want to go down to no courthouse. We don't have time for this shit. You and Chriselle need to dead this shit. It's not that deep. Nobody thinks you're a crackhead. But again, you got Chelsea in the confessional saying, girl, now I can't unsee this white lady being a crackhead. I can't unsee it, you know? So there's that on that. So now we have Heather again going to Bree, telling Bree about Chelsea. I feel like this is the second time that Heather's gone to Bree about Chelsea mentioning her situation with Nick, right? Here's my thing with Heather. Heather, what homes have you sold? And please don't come in my comments saying that Heather sold a home this season, because she didn't. She had one closing, and that was a closing that Jason ushered her into. We saw that on camera. What is she selling? What is she selling? Heather ain't selling no homes, okay? And I'm sorry, but Heather seems to be a flip-flopping ass bitch. To me, Heather comes across as a flip-flopping ass bitch because I thought you were cool with Chelsea. And Chelsea brings this up later on too, but it's like, you were cool with Chelsea. You just met Bree. Why are you going back and forth between Chelsea and Bree, going to tell Bree what Chelsea said? Chelsea is not the type of girl who's not gonna tell you what she said to your face. Have y'all realized that? Like, one thing about Chelsea, she's not afraid to tell you her thoughts. Like, she will tell you her thoughts unsolicited. She doesn't give a fuck. So Chelsea doesn't need you to be going back and forth between her and Bree, telling Bree what she said. Like, why are you doing that? It just seems like you're just there to stir shit up because you don't have a storyline. Christine is gone, so you don't have a storyline. You don't have a storyline. Nobody cares about your baby shower. Nobody gives a fuck about your pregnancy. I'm sorry, not sorry. I'm going to say it. We don't give a fuck. Where are the homes? Where are the homes that you are selling? Where are the homes? You don't have a storyline. You don't have a storyline. You don't act or eat like. And even at the beginning of the season, first episode, she comes in, oh, it's so nice that Christine is not in the office no more. Why is Christine still in your mouth? Why is Christine still a subject for you? Where are the homes? Tú no hablas no homes? Tú no hablas selling homes? Do you habla selling homes? I need you to habla selling homes, okay? So now we're at the dinner at Palm Springs. This is episode 8, right? Later on in the episode, we're at the dinner at Palm Springs. This is to wrap up the Palm Springs trip. And, you know, everybody's at dinner. You know, they bring up the fact that Nicole is a crackhead, but not really a crackhead because she had the test. And, you know, the test proved that she wasn't a crackhead, but people are still looking at her like she a damn crackhead. Now you have, later on, you have Bree who brings up to Chelsea like, yo, hey, like, I hear that you're talking about my situation. You're bringing it up and saying that you don't accept my situation. And Chelsea's like, I think accept is a strong word. I just don't agree with your situation. And I'm not the only one who feels that way. A lot of people here have voiced that. I'm not the only one, but I guess I'm the loudest one maybe, but I'm not the only one who's voiced that. I just don't agree with it. You can do whatever you like, but I just don't agree with it. And then Chelsea stresses to her and says, listen, everybody here has mentioned your situation. It is public knowledge, which is true. Every other day, we're being fed you and Nick Cannon or Nick Cannon and his other baby mamas, like every day it's in the news cycle. So I'm just talking about things that are public knowledge. I'm not saying anything that you said to me in private or anything like that. And then, I think Armanza brought up that she said that Nick is a master manipulator. I'm sorry. It's like, I think like in that essence, Chelsea did go a little too far with that, because here's the thing. I have been on Wild 'N Out for a couple seasons. I've known of Nick Cannon for a couple years. Outside of this baby mama stuff, you never really hear anything bad about Nick Cannon. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. These girls who are signing up to be his baby mothers, they know what they're signing up for. Nick doesn't have to be a master manipulator. Nick has said time and time again, he is not gonna get married again. He's not looking for a relationship. He has said it time and time again. So these girls that are signing up to be with Nick, they are signing up to get a baby and a check. Point blank, period. It's just, it is what it is. Nobody's master manipulating anybody. Nobody's in a relationship with anybody. Any of these girls, whether it's Bree or whoever, if they're going around thinking that they're in a relationship, they are delusional. This man has been very vocal about where he stands with his baby mamas. So when it comes to him being a master manipulator, I have to disagree on that. I have to disagree on that, and I do feel like that was a little too far. But other than that, Chelsea don't be lying. I haven't heard Chelsea had a bad take yet. And, you know, Bree is like, well, I mean, what's it to you? Like, why the fuck do you care about my situation? And Bree is like, well, you know what? When I look at you, I see someone who's beautiful, someone who's smart, someone who has a good head on their shoulders. Why are you choosing to bring children into broken homes from the jump? Why are you choosing that? And that is a valid question. It's valid. Listen, we're not going to sit here and act like Bree was brought on the show to sell homes. Bree was brought on the show because Selling Sunset, the production company, they forever, for whatever the reason, thought they were going to get Nick Cannon. Let's be honest here. Nick Cannon was supposed to be your storyline. For whatever the reason, there was a bait and switch somewhere. So by any means necessary, they were going to make Nick Cannon your storyline. Point blank, period. It's going to get discussed. Point blank, period. It is a hot topic. It's been a hot topic for the last 3 years. So there was no reason for them to bring you on the show for them not to exploit that. They want to discuss this, period. People want to discuss this, period. Nobody wants to talk to you, Bree, outside of talking to you about this Nick Cannon stuff. We have to be honest about it. If I Google you and I see every interview that you've been in for the last couple of years, it is Nick Cannon, Nick Cannon, Nick Cannon, Nick Cannon. That's what people want to talk to you about. You are on a reality show. They want the reality of you and Nick Cannon, period. So whatever you feel about Chelsea, she's bringing the real. She's telling you she's asking what the people want to ask you. She's bringing up what the people want to bring up. Point blank, period. And to be honest, they need to give her producer credit, because my sister is carrying this motherfucking season. She really is. She's carrying. She needs a production credit at this point. But anyway, we have Chelsea who takes ownership of it. She says, you know what? I apologize. What I like about Chelsea gonna own up to her shit. She said, you know what? I apologize for talking about your situation. I promise you I will mind my business, and I won't bring up the next time that Nick Cannon has a baby on you. I screamed. Chelsea ain't shit, but she the shit at the same motherfucking time. She said, I ain't gonna bring it up. The next time he has a baby on you, I ain't gonna bring it up. Okay, cool, we cool. And that's that on that. Again. Whether you feel that Chelsea is out of line, Chelsea's out of order, or Chelsea's not minding her business, two things. These people are on a reality television show. They all have to talk to each other. What are they gonna talk to Bree about? They're not gonna talk to Bree about selling homes. She ain't selling no homes. So what's the next thing? Nick Cannon. It is what it is, okay? And Chelsea's concerns are correct, because unfortunately, what's happening is with this situation, it seems like a normalization of being intentional about bringing kids into homes where they don't see their fathers frequently. It's triggering to me. I'm someone whose dad was not in my life. I've talked to you guys about my dad, and I feel like more and more lately I've talked more and more about it, because you know what's crazy is people will say, oh, time heals all wounds, and as time goes by, that's a lie. The older I'm getting, I feel like the more painful it is, because now as an adult, I cannot comprehend how you could not be in your child's life. I just cannot comprehend that. I can't for the life of me. And I've had a lot of experiences that I should not have had because my father was not in my life. How many times have we heard women talking about the pain that they go through, you know, being single mothers? Bree herself, it was made very public when Bree had her Insta stories where she talked about, you know, not sleeping for days on end with her newborn. And people asked her, they were like, girl, you are Nick Cannon's baby mama. Where's Nick Cannon? Why doesn't he have you have a night nurse? You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as Bree is trying to make this out to be a perfect situation, a great situation, it is not. It is not a good situation, okay? It is not. No matter how you try to wrap this up and put it in a gift box, it stinks. It fucking stinks. And for me, as an adult who did not have their dad in their life, watching this is triggering to me. It is. It is. It's triggering to me. It is, because y'all are normalizing this shit. And it's not okay. I have a podcast that I'm on with Madame Noir called Listen to Black Men. And literally, the episode from last week was me sharing my experience of not having my father around, and then having a stepfather who was not really involved in my life at all.
Half of you guys are dads here. Can y'all speak to me on why it be a lot of daddies, but not a lot of commitment?
Commitment to the baby?
Commitment to the mama. What do you think is going on?
There you go.
I love what Dave was saying, how he has his son that all he knows is you. I think for me, oh my God, am I gonna have like...
You about to cry in my house?
I know, I'm sorry,
Safe space.
I didn't have my dad, and then my stepdad was horrible. So I think for me, I got hit twice. So I didn't see my mom have a healthy relationship ever. I just never saw that. I never saw a good example of fatherhood ever. So I think just for me as a woman, I think my place in this discussion is there are some of us who we're really desperate to find a good man who's gonna be a good father. I know when it's my turn to be a mom, I'm fighting to pick the right man who's gonna treat my kids very, very well, because I can't afford for my kids to experience what I experienced. I experienced a lot of hurt really early. And that's why I would say those things to my stepdad, because I would see him say things or do things I didn't like. And I saw my mom go through stuff that I didn't like. Even if I never get married, but I have a child, they have to have a good dad. They have to, because I don't want them to experience the stuff that I experienced.
That's me breaking down at my big age. At my big age. If I were to sit here and tell y'all about the countless times as a child where my dad did not show up, or there were times where I felt like he would have showed up, he didn't. You know what I'm saying? You can have a bunch of money. Money can buy you a lot of things. Money cannot buy you time. Money cannot buy you time. And the more people like Nick have all these kids and they stretch them out, they stretch themselves out so thin, you're not setting up these kids for valuable time spending with their parent. No matter how you try to dress it up. It's just not cool. It's not. After the dinner, we get in the limousine, we get in the limo, and Mary has a breakdown. You know, Mary is crying because she can't hold things together. You know, it's crackhead accusations. You know, it's Nick Cannon and his 53rd baby mama being attacked at the table. You know, Emma selling empanadas, she ain't selling homes. Like, it's a lot of shit going on. You know, Mary is literally Jason's like double body. She's like his shadow at the office. She's also a realtor. She's also handling his private constructions and his private penthouse build up. You know, she has her own shit that she's working through, and it's breaking her down. And I'm sorry, but Mary, I'm trying to feel bad for you. I don't ever see you setting boundaries for these people who work in the office. It just seems like you want to be everybody's friend. And like Chelsea said in one of the episodes, if you can't handle the job, give it to somebody who can. First of all, while Jason was away, the first thing you should have done was hire HR. How many seasons are we gonna watch with so much unprofessionalism before you guys realize you need HR in the office? Like, this is a real concern, for real, for real. Where is human resources? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Again, just to the point that I feel like it's a problem when Chelsea says something, but everybody in the cast has made Nick Cannon jokes, like especially Armanza. Like, remember when Bree first came in, before she came in, and somebody was like, oh, she's Nick Cannon's baby mama. Armanza was like, yeah, who isn't? Who doesn't have a baby by Nick Cannon? Or even when Chelsea was saying, you know, I think he's a master manipulator. And Armanza was like, you know, I don't think he's a master manipulator, but I do think he's a master ejaculator. Like, everybody has comments, everybody has jokes, but the moment Chelsea makes it, it's a problem. It's a problem. So now we're at episode 10, and what I want to talk about when it comes to episode 10 is the dinner that Chelsea had with Jason and I think his girlfriend, right? And Chelsea's like asking his girlfriend, she's like, listen, like, you and I are from the same generation. And it was funny, Jason talking about, y'all not from the same generation. Well, Chelsea at the time of filming was 29, the girlfriend was 25. So they're around the same age, all right? Jason, you are 45, 46. Like, so they're in the same age bracket. You're not. So anyway, she asked, she's like, you know, I mean, not to be rude, but like, what do y'all see in Jason? Because I don't see nothing. Like, I do not see nothing in this midget y'all keep going crazy over. And the girl was saying that, oh, well, you know what? He just has a young spirit, which is, I could see that. Because I don't see nothing mature about Jason at all, especially the way he runs his office. It's just very immature. Very immature. And to be honest, Jason low-key gives Nick Cannon vibes. Because you over here, like, how many relationships have you had with women who work with you? You giving the same vibes Nick Cannon giving. Like, y'all on the same time. The only difference with Jason is Jason wears a condom, Nick doesn't. All right? That's the only difference. Nick Cannon, that damn head wrap he be wearing on his head, he need to wear that on his penis. All right? That's the difference between Jason and Nick Cannon. All right? So anyway, I like that Chelsea brought up to Jason, first of all, at the staff meeting, how Bree came at her and he didn't do anything to rectify the situation. I love that. Again, Chelsea is not somebody who's not going to tell you how she feels to her face. She might say it to other people, but she going to say it to your face as well. And I love that she brought that up because I really feel like that's where everything ignited. It's like, listen, there needs to be boundaries at the office. And she brought that up. Also, she brought up the fact that he needs to have a clear-cut code of conduct in the office on how people should carry themselves. That is 100% true. And that's not new things that Jason is hearing. Christine used to bring it up. Mary's kind of echoing it again. And then now you have Chelsea bring it up. Here again, I have to say this. The underlying problem with all the drama that's at the O group, the commonality between Nicole and this Chrishell beef, Chelsea and Bree, is Jason, Chrishell and Christine, Chrishell and Heather, Christine and Mary. It is Jason. Jason does not facilitate a professional work environment. Jason does not understand how to have boundaries between him and his workers. He's been known to have relationships with his workers. He's showing favoritism to the ones that he does have relationships with. He's bringing in girls who have little to no experience because of what? But then you have the black girl who has to prove herself by selling homes. It's not fair. It is just not fair. It's not fair. And these are real concerns. And to be honest, watching Chelsea in the scene, I'm sorry, this girl carried this season. Her storyline with selling a home. She was the only person who sold a home by herself. In the last staff meeting when Jason was asking about closings, she was the only one who had the $14 million closing in Manhattan. She did that on her own. Jason did not usher her into that. Manhattan Beach is her specialty. Okay? But she has to do 10 times the work. But Bree gets to come in, not prove anything, right? And why is she here? Let's be honest. And that's not her being a hater. That's her being honest and pointing out the obvious, and her doing what all of us have done on social media. Like, it's just crazy to see people, oh my God, she said all these things about Bree. Y'all have said this shit about Bree and Nick Cannon. Like, if I go on Twitter right now and I put Bree Nick Cannon, it's nothing but jokes. It's nothing but like crazy ass commentary from all of y'all. So why y'all making her out to be a villain for saying the same shit that we all say every time we see this shit? So yeah, the underlying issue here is Jason. And as she's having this conversation with Jason, Jason is not offering no real solutions. Nothing. He has no plan on changing shit around. Nothing. No plan on doing that. So now we're going to the final episode for now of this season. And, you know, Mary is telling Jason about her breakdown. And she's saying, listen, like, I'm carrying too much. I'm carrying your personal projects. I'm carrying the office while you're gone for almost a month frolicking in another country with your girlfriend, and you're leaving me behind with no clear direction. The girls in the office are catty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have my own shit. I have a life outside of this. She brings up the fact that, you know, Chriselle called Nicole all types of crackhead. And Jason offers no real solution. But at the same time, too, Mary doesn't really put her foot down. She doesn't say, you know what? If you don't do this, I'm going to do this. Or I need A. If A doesn't happen, then B is going to have to happen. Mary doesn't stand up for herself. So again, it's like I'm trying to feel bad for you, but I can't because I see you not standing up to yourself. And then I see a lot of perks with you not standing up to Jason because you get $35 million closings. So whatever. So later on, we see Chelsea and Emma have this talk by the beach. And honestly, this talk that Chelsea had with Emma really made me have more respect for Chelsea and also just more empathy. Chelsea brings up the fact that, you know, for her, she doesn't agree. It's not about a thing of acceptance. She just doesn't agree with, you know, Bree's lifestyle. And mind you, she prefaces this with bringing up that Heather's been going back and forth and between her and Bree, and she didn't appreciate that because she's known Heather since last year. She's known Heather a year, you know, and she thought that her and Heather were cool. So to her, she's like, well, damn, I would think like if Heather thought that I was being judgmental or whatever she felt, I would think she would have a conversation with me. You just met this girl last week. And so why are you having such loyalty for her, but I've known you the longest? And to be honest, Heather never fucked with Chelsea. Heather never saw it for Chelsea. Because remember, when Chelsea came in, she came in with Christine. But the difference between Chelsea and Heather, Chelsea was very neutral. Christine had issues with almost everybody in the office. But Chelsea did a good job of being a friend to Christine and also being a friend to everybody else and being cordial and staying neutral. Heather hasn't done that. Heather is a flip-flopping ass bitch. Heather is a shit stirrer. Heather, it's so funny that she's talking about Chelsea not minding her business, but you don't mind yours. Because every chance you're getting, you're running back and forth between Chelsea and Bree. So you are stirring shit up. But anyway, she brought that up, and then she brings up the fact that, you know, as a child living in London, her and her family, her parents were Nigerian immigrants in London. And, you know, they grew up very poor, and her mom got an opportunity here in the States to work in the States, and that opportunity was going to put them in a better financial situation. And so that strained her relationship with her mom, because growing up, she was very distant from her mom. There was a time difference. There were a lot of things that she wasn't able to talk to her mom about, like getting her period, first kiss, going to prom. Like, there were a lot of things that her mom was not there to witness. And so when she sees someone being intentional about raising a child in a broken home, it is triggering for her. And again, it's triggering for me. It's triggering for me. And it's triggering for a lot of us. And I don't understand why, like, I can see why women of other races can watch this and easily like count Chelsea out. But those of us who are Black women, who are unfortunately known to be the ones who deal with absentee fathers the most, watching this and not being able to resonate with the fact that it's just like this whole setup that they have, it is triggering for those of us who are of a certain background and of people of color and Black. For those of y'all who are watching this and you're being purposely obtuse to that, I can't relate. And I think it's just very embarrassing. Like, if anything, y'all are embarrassing. Like, I've seen people try to say, oh, Chelsea's embarrassing us. No, y'all are embarrassing. Those of you guys who are watching this and you're not able to put two and two together, y'all are embarrassing, not her. And so she brings up a valid point. Again, I have yet to hear Chelsea have a bad take. Say what you want, but I have yet to hear her have a bad take on any matters that are brought up on the show. She has not had a bad take yet. My sis is a good take person. Her takes are good. So you see Heather and Bree again talking about Chelsea and how, Heather brings up the fact that she heard that Chelsea was saying in Palm Springs, because she did say it in Palm Springs, like, damn, like, I thought me and Heather were cool. And I just felt like she would have talked to me before she went to Bree and was going back and forth between me and Bree. And it's just so funny because Bree and Heather make it seem like it's Chelsea, but y'all are talking about her even more to me. Like, Chelsea literally has not talked about Bree's quote unquote situation again. It's y'all keep bringing it up. Now Chelsea has moved on to, well, damn, I thought I was friends with Heather. Which brings us now to the Penthouse opening. Honestly, Heather confronting Chelsea the way that she did, I just really didn't understand it. It wasn't giving. You thought you ate that, but honey, there was still food left on your plate. And to be honest, first of all, when she was going up to Chelsea, she was like, you're trying to make it seem like I'm stirring shit. Chelsea didn't say that, but you said it because it's true. You are a shit stirrer. That's literally your role on the show. It's to go back and forth. Oh, she said this, she said that. That's what you've been doing on the show. That's been your position. It's a shit stirrer. And, as Chelsea was trying to get a word in, you wouldn't let her get a word in. You called her two-faced, which didn't make sense because Chelsea's not known to say one thing to one person and then say another thing to another. Chelsea's very consistent. If she says this behind her back, she's going to say it in front of you. And if you leave, she'll say it again, just like she said it to you to your face. There's nothing two-faced about her. Chelsea brought up a good point where she's like, well, damn, I can't really go bar for bar with the pregnant lady. And it's true. She was being very nice to you because she was pregnant. Chelsea's better than me. I would have dragged you and your unborn child. I don't give a fuck. Because the way you came up to her and wouldn't let her get a word in and wouldn't acknowledge her feelings, like she was saying, like, are you trying to say that I don't have a point when I say that, well, damn, I've known you longer than you've known Bree. I would think you would talk to me. And Heather's like, well, I would think you would talk to me. Talk to you about what? You're the one going back and forth between her and Bree, saying what this person said and that person said. You're the one doing that. So what would Chelsea come to you about? I'm sorry, like, Chelsea's better than me. I would have dragged you and your child. I don't give a fuck. Pregnant or not. You step to me with that type of energy, babe, we gonna step. Oh, we gonna be two-stepping in this bitch. We gonna be stepping in the name of love. Step in the name of love. We're going to be two-stepping in this bitch. You step to me that way, pregnant or not, I'm dragging you and your child. I don't give a fuck. Okay, Chelsea's better than me because the energy, it just was unnecessary. You didn't eat, you didn't drag, you didn't clear. Somebody was like, oh, she cleared. You didn't clear shit because the footage is there and everybody can see you were a shit stirrer, period. And then for Bree to follow it up again, I don't need a judge and jury for my situation. Girl, we're over that. We're over that. It's like Chelsea was trying to say, like, girl, I don't, like, I literally told you, the next time you have, you know, the next time Nick Cannon surprises you with another baby, you know, another sibling for your child, I'm not going to talk about it. Like, the conversation was dead. You're kind of beating a dead horse now, so you didn't clear shit either. Like, you didn't clear, nobody dragged nothing, and the fact that everybody was sitting there again, watching this happen at this professional event again, it's just jokes. Anyway, y'all, bottom line, these white women ain't selling no homes. These white women ain't selling no homes. The only thing that they're selling is tequila, titties, and unprofessionalism. They ain't selling shit. They're not selling shit. They ain't even selling Sunset, okay? They not selling Sunset. They're not selling shit. I see right through the shit. And we have to close out with this point, right? Bree had all these billionaire contacts. How many homes did she sell? Zero. Okay? Now, you can say what you want about Chelsea. Chelsea sells homes. So again, if I were in Chelsea's position, my feathers would be ruffled because Chelsea has to do 10 times the work. These girls get to come in, they selling empanadas, they sucking tequila from titties, they arguing, they carrying on, they calling each other all types of bitches, and nobody bats an eye. All Chelsea does is bring up public knowledge, and she's public enemy number one now. What does that sound like to y'all? I'll let y'all get in the comments and you tell me what that sounds like to y'all. Anyway, y'all, those are my thoughts on Selling Sunset. Let me know, drop it in the comments, let me know what you think. I am going to review Young, Rich, and African. I think that's the show. I did watch season 1, and I think I'm gonna do a season 1 like recap, or probably do a season 1 recap and do an episode 1 review. Maybe that's what I'll do. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this review. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Take care.